Yesterday in Halifax, we're checking in with Chris all throughout the day today and tomorrow as he continues to track the remnants of Gabrielle. In Halifax in particular, over 40 millimeters of rain has already fallen. Other parts of Nova Scotia, closer to 70 millimeters of rain. Today, the heaviest moisture, the most precipitation falling in Newfoundland. We'll have that story coming up right now. That video there showcasing what it has been like in Nova Scotia. Let's take a look at some of those rainfall totals, and this all has to do with the remnants of Gabrielle. Chris St. Clair, by the way, if you're looking for Chris, because it is a weekend, isn't it? He is live from Halifax reporting on the latest with what's going on with this storm. But Halifax has seen a good 40 millimeters of rain. This is as of 4 o'clock this morning. Other parts of Nova Scotia closer to 70, 75 millimeters of rain. And the good news is the bulk of the rain is done for the Maritimes. You may see a few showers today, a millimeter of rain here or there, but the bulk of the rain now pushing into Newfoundland, central and western Newfoundland in particular today. St. John's and the Avalon, you'll more so see all of that heavy rain tomorrow, but you could pick up a good 30 millimeters of rain. Now, when we talk about all this tropical kind of weather with Gabrielle, it leads us to today's weather question. On Twitter, using hashtag WXQuestion, snow flurries coming down. Yes, snow. Okay, from snow to temperatures in the 30s. We're talking about parts of British Columbia yesterday in the interior reaching over 35 degrees. Such a contrast between the cold temperatures in Ontario and the heat in the west. So we'll talk all about that coming up. Well, once again, I'm Natalie Thomas in for Chris St. Clair this weekend, but Chris will be joining us in just a moment, so make sure to stay tuned. We're talking about the big story, the remnants of Gabrielle affecting Atlantic Canada. Now, the good news is in the Maritimes, the bulk of the rain, the strongest winds, they're pretty much done. We could still see a couple of millimeters of rain here and there, but the bulk of the rain, as I mentioned, pushing into Newfoundland. And as I set this map in motion, you'll see that it looks like the heaviest rain today in Newfoundland is in the west and central parts of the province, and then you can see the heavier rain for tomorrow morning and afternoon moving towards St. John's and the Avalon, where we could see a good 30 millimeters of rainfall over the next couple of days. But all of this talk of tropical weather leads us to today's weather question. You've heard of it and never really understood it. We're going to be checking in with Chris. Why not check in with Chris? Chris knows a thing or two about storm surge. So what do you think? What do you think, Chris? What is storm surge? Thanks a lot, Chris, for that answer. And if anyone has any weather questions for Chris and myself, you can find us on Twitter, hashtag WXQuestion, and we look forward to answering your weather questions. As far as other weather stories are concerned, it's all about temperatures. As of 5 o'clock this morning, Sudbury was just barely above the freezing mark, and you compare that to temperatures pushing 30 degrees across the west. We have to talk about that contrast of the warm and the cold air across the country coming up, but also coming up, flooding in Colorado. It's a huge weather story internationally. 80 people are still unaccounted for. That story is coming up next in Force of Nature Extended. I tell you, it is cold outside of our National Weather Center here in Oakville, Ontario, but with the sun shining, it's a beautiful day. Let's take a look at how cold it got this morning. Putting on sunscreen, I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to be out at a beach this weekend in southern Ontario. So we will talk more about temperatures and the contrast in the east and the west coming up. Stay with us. So imagine being trapped in your home and the National Guard having to pluck you out from the floodwaters via helicopter and taken to safety. But as we know, it has been cold and really chilly this morning if you're heading outside. Toronto at 5 o'clock this morning was sitting just below 7 degrees, Kitchener below 3 degrees, and I was speaking with meteorologist Brian Dillon. He said yesterday Toronto got up to 14.8 degrees, making it our coldest daytime high since May 25th. That's when you know summer is coming to an end. But as I set this map in motion, you'll notice some rain showers to our north. It looks like it could move into southern Ontario by tomorrow night into Monday morning. But until then, enjoy the sunshine and enjoy some of these cool things, these cool events happening across southern Ontario. Number one, the Jazz Festival is happening all weekend in Brantford. Yeah, snowing in northern Ontario, Timmins yesterday, and flooding in the east because of the remnants of Gabrielle. I guess we're pretty lucky with our cooler air this weekend and the sunshine. All right, temperatures go up tomorrow to 20 degrees here in Toronto. Then we dip back down to 15 degrees for Monday, back to 24 degrees by Thursday. The roller coaster ride continues, and we'll be back right after this.